Pruning your tomato plants might seem like extra work, but it's a secret to a bountiful harvest. By strategically removing certain parts of the plant, you're helping it focus its energy on producing delicious, juicy tomatoes. Unpruned tomato plants often become a tangled mess, making it difficult for sunlight and air to reach the developing fruit. This can lead to smaller tomatoes and increase the risk of diseases. Pruning opens up the plant, allowing better air circulation and sunlight penetration, which are essential for healthy fruit development. A heavy crop of tomatoes can weigh down the branches, causing them to break. So, grab your pruning shears and let's get started on the path to a bumper tomato crop. Suckers are the sneaky culprits that steal energy from your tomato plants. They are small shoots that grow from the joint where a branch meets the main stem. Identifying these suckers is the first step towards effective pruning. Look closely at the junction of the stem and branches. Suckers emerge from this point. Suckers look like mini tomato plants, complete with leaves and stems. They divert the plant's energy into growing more leaves and stems, rather than focusing on fruit production. To distinguish suckers from true branches, observe their location. Suckers originate in the V formed between the main stem and a branch. Early identification and removal of suckers are key to maximizing your tomato yield. Removing the lower leaves of your tomato plants is a crucial step in preventing pests and diseases. These leaves are often the first to come into contact with soil-borne pathogens and pests. By removing them, you reduce the risk of infection and create a healthier growing environment for your plants. The lower leaves are also less efficient at photosynthesis as they receive less sunlight than the upper leaves. Start by removing any leaves that are touching the ground. As the plant grows taller, continue removing leaves up to about a foot from the ground. This creates a barrier between the soil and the rest of the plant, minimizing the chances of soil-borne diseases spreading to the upper leaves and fruit. Regularly removing the lower leaves throughout the growing season will help keep your tomato plants healthy and productive. Pinching and pruning are essential techniques for directing the growth of your tomato plants. Pinching involves removing the tip of a sucker or branch with your fingers. This encourages the plant to focus its energy on developing fruit rather than producing more foliage. Pruning, on the other hand, involves using pruning shears to remove larger branches or suckers. Regular pruning helps to maintain a manageable size and shape, preventing the plant from becoming overgrown and tangled. When pruning, make clean cuts just above a leaf node. Avoid leaving stubs, as they can become entry points for pathogens. By directing the plant's energy towards fruit production, you'll be rewarded with a bountiful harvest of delicious tomatoes. While removing most suckers is beneficial, strategically leaving a few can contribute to a bushier plant and potentially increase yield. For indeterminate varieties, allowing a few suckers to grow near the base of the plant can create a stronger framework. This can be particularly helpful for plants that are prone to leaning or breaking under the weight of their fruit. Consider the variety of tomato you're growing. Determinate varieties, which grow to a certain size and then stop, benefit from more aggressive suckering. Indeterminate varieties, on the other hand, can tolerate a few extra suckers, especially if you're aiming for a larger plant. Maintaining adequate spacing between branches ensures good air circulation and reduces the risk of diseases. Experiment with different suckering strategies to find what works best for your particular growing conditions and tomato varieties. Regularly inspecting your tomato plants for signs of disease is crucial for maintaining their health and productivity. Yellowing leaves, brown spots, or any other unusual discoloration can indicate a problem. Promptly removing affected leaves can prevent the spread of disease and save the rest of the plant. When removing diseased leaves, use clean pruning shears and avoid touching healthy leaves with the contaminated shears. Dispose of the diseased leaves properly, preferably by burning them or sealing them in a plastic bag before discarding them. Yellowing leaves can also be a sign of nutrient deficiency or overwatering. Providing your plants with the proper nutrients and watering them appropriately will help prevent problems in the first place. By staying vigilant and taking action at the first sign of trouble, you can protect your plants and ensure a bountiful harvest. As your tomato plants grow taller and heavier with fruit, they'll need support to prevent them from leaning or breaking. There are various methods for supporting tomato plants, including stakes, cages, and trellises. Choose a method that suits your growing space and the variety of tomato you're growing. Stakes are a simple and effective way to support individual tomato plants. Drive a sturdy stake into the ground next to each plant and tie the main stem to the stake using soft garden twine or strips of cloth. Cages provide all-around support and are particularly useful for determinate varieties. Trellises are a good option for indeterminate varieties, which can grow quite tall. Train the main stem of the plant to grow up the trellis, tying it as needed. Proper pruning leads to a healthier, more productive tomato plant, resulting in a significantly larger harvest of delicious tomatoes. By removing suckers and lower leaves, you improve air circulation and sunlight penetration, creating an environment that promotes healthy fruit development. This also reduces the risk of diseases, leading to stronger and more resilient plants. Pruning also makes it easier to manage your tomato plants. A well-pruned plant is easier to water, fertilize, and harvest. The quality of your tomatoes will also improve with proper pruning. By directing the plant's energy towards fruit production, you'll get larger, juicier, and more flavorful tomatoes. Enjoy the satisfaction of a bountiful harvest and the delicious taste of homegrown tomatoes, all thanks to your pruning efforts.